Black Wall Street by Amun Lagessa. In today's society, we often talk about predominantly black cities in a very negative manner. However, there was once a time where black cities were actually thriving. A prime example of such a place is Tulsa, Oklahoma. Greenwood, Tulsa, also known as a Black Wall Street, is a prime example of a thriving black metropolis. Native Americans, along with their black slaves, were forced to give up their lands and move westward. White migration, on the other hand, was driven by the desire for more land and more economic opportunities. After people settled into Oklahoma, it didn't take long for segregation to occur. In fact, the very first bill segregated the districts. The north end was deemed the black side, while the south end was labeled the white side. This essentially led to the creation of Black Wall Street. Because people invested in their neighborhoods, over time, a community of mostly middle-class African Americans was created. At its peak, Tulsa, Oklahoma had 600 all-black-owned businesses. These businesses include 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, a hospital, a bank, and 21 churches. In addition to its post offices, libraries, and schools, Tulsa also had half a dozen private airplanes and a fully functioning bus system. Unfortunately, on June 1, 1921, Tulsa was burned to the ground. The 36-block Black Empire was burned to the ground in just 12 hours, leaving 300 people dead and more than 11,000 homeless. Another black metropolis that has a very similar story to Black Wall Street is Chicago. In the earliest 20th century, people migrated from the plantations of the rural South to this Midwest metropolis. Many black people moved to Chicago in search of work, better wages, better homes, better living conditions, and freedom. In fact, it was estimated that 80 out of 100 people living in Chicago were originally born in the South. Located in the southern part of the city, Brownsville was Chicago's Black Wall Street. Many African American doctors, lawyers, politicians, and leaders called Brownsville their home. Brownsville provided African Americans with an environment that allowed them to be treated with dignity while making fair wages. At these intersections, people came to shop, eat, dance, and conduct business while experiencing the black metropolis. A diverse crowd of young, old, rich, poor, professionals, and laborers alike often gathered to see what the city had to offer. The Regal Theater provided some of the country's most talented and glamorous black entertainers. Essentially, the community was thriving with artists, intellectuals, and musicians. They also destroyed $250,000 worth of property. Unfortunately, much like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Chicago's Black Wall Street was brought to an end by a series of riots. The riots resulted in 500 injuries and the death of 38 black people.
Created using Powtoon.